All right, let's move on to some streaming. We're looking at week 18, so the week starting the end of April. So this week, there's a few highlights, things that I want to talk to you about, Cal. We've got 3 teams that have 5 games next week, so lots of games being played week 18. The Raptors, the Mavericks, and the Thunder all have 5 games that week. So are there any players in there that you think we should highlight that could be potential ads if you're gearing up for a big week 18?
I'd circle in the Mavericks and the Raptors. The Thunder are hard to predict, like we touched on, because their starting lineup seems to change so much. So I'd pencil in someone like a Brunson would probably be a guy that yells at me, because he's put up good stats, good assists for a waiver wire kind of guy. And if he's playing 5 games, that's a lot of assists that you can rack up with just that one ad. So he'd be the guy that yells at me the most.
Points as well. He's a good scorer. I think he put up over 20 points a game. He could get close to 60, 70 points in 5 games, which is huge with one acquisition if you're looking to get that category. And it's a hard category to stream. So if he's available, I think he's a great ad.
Yep. So you go like a Maxi Cleaver maybe as well if he's getting minutes. Tim Hardaway, he's probably picked up already because he really is just there for points.
Yeah.
They'd be the guys I'll be looking at first and foremost.
I want to highlight a couple of Raptors. Malachi Flynn, I think, is someone that you need to look at. I think the Raptors have been no secrets about it, resting their older players in Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet. And there's being the 5 games in the 1 week, there's a couple of back-to-backs in there. So Malachi Flynn on those back-to-backs is going to play heavy minutes and he's going to put up stats. We've seen him get, lots of assists, lots of steals, some decent points and threes. So in those games, he's almost a must-start player. And then if you've got 5 games, you just ride out the games that he's sort of on the bench and things like that. It's enough value for you to add. And the other one is Birch. Chris Boucher went down with a knee injury today. He's getting an MRI. Doesn't sound great. So I would be adding Birch if you have the luxury, if you know you're going to make it next week or if you're on a bye, because he's going to be a difference maker in terms of blocks, rebounds, and field goal percentage. One of my favorite streamers for next week. So if you have the ability to get him before the week starts, I would definitely do so because I think he's going to be big time.
Yeah, great for blocks. I think it's his best category.
Yeah. Excellent for blocks. Let's look at the daily games and how many games are on each week, which can help us with our streaming. Just quickly running through them. Monday, we've got 11 games. Tuesday, we've got 6 games. Wednesday, there's 10. Thursday, there's 6. Friday, 8. Saturday, 10 games. And Sunday, 8 games. So pretty even spread. There's a couple of high volume games, but nothing crazy like the 14-game day that we had today. So you might be able to, depending on your team, stream most days. Maybe not that Monday, and the Wednesday might be tough, and Saturday with the 10 games. But it's there and abouts most games. So we'll look at the back-to-backs and teams that play on low volume days. Specifically, the Nets and the Bucks I want to highlight. They play all of their games on low volume days, which are days less than 10 games on that day. So you could add a player like
Bruce Brown,
or Landry Shamet, and they're going to play on your roster every time. Whereas if you add someone on the Monday, they might not even get on your roster because you've got a full team playing. So there's no point adding that player. So those Nets and Bucks, I think, are really good streamers for the week through there. We'll talk a bit of back-to-backs, although there are a lot of teams with some back-to-backs here, so we won't spend too long going through there. You've got on the Tuesday, Thursday, so skipping out that Wednesday with 10 games, and obviously Monday's got 11 games, so you can't really stream those days. You've got a lot of teams. You've got the Nets, the Mavericks, the Warriors, Rockets, Pacers, Bucks, Timberwolves, Thunder, Raptors. The Thursday, Friday back-to-back, you've got the Nets and Bucks, like we said. And then a Friday, Sunday, you've got Celtics, Nets, Lakers, Bucks, 76ers, Suns, Trailblazers, Kings, and Spurs. So lots of teams you can stream this week. Lots and lots of teams. So a bit different to how we've done the last couple of weeks. We're going to go through the best streamers for each category and sort of just our favorites. So I'll throw it over to you, Cal. We'll start with the percentages. We'll start with field goal percentage. give us some names of who you think are the best ones to boost that category for the week.
Well, there's some good names in front of me. So let's go with Hassan Whiteside, DeAndre Jordan, Tony Bradley, or Goga Badatse.
Yeah. So
some good ones out there. I personally, Hassan Whiteside can give you the blocks as well. He's started getting a few more minutes now. And I guess likewise with DeAndre Jordan too. DeAndre Jordan, is Claxton injured? I just feel like I haven't seen Claxton play for a while.
Yeah, Claxton, I think, I want to say COVID protocols even. Let me double check that one. But I don't think he's.
It says he's injured on Yahoo, and it's saying, forced to quarantine.
Yeah, so I think that's COVID issue. So he's out for a little while. Obviously, LaMarcus Aldridge retired, so some minutes have opened up for DeAndre Jordan, who's an excellent sort of field goal percentage guy. We know that he only dunks the ball, so he's a really good one that I like. If Sabonis is out, or maybe even without Sabonis being out, as long as Goga Badatse is back, he's probably my other favorite one. Whiteside, I was big on a little bit before, but I don't know. I was watching the Kings play today, and God, he is shit. He is such a bad NBA player. So I don't know. I streamed him in for my matchup this week, and it didn't really work out. So I don't necessarily want to go around recommending Hassan Whiteside, but if he gets the minutes, he'll probably put up the stats. But I just think he's that bad that even though that they've got all these injuries, you don't play him. He's just an awful player. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he comes that next game and is a DNP CD. So just be aware of that one. But if he plays, he puts up the stats. We know this. And Tony Bradley, again, OKC, hard to predict. I would wait to make sure that, see if Moses Brown is playing, see if Roby's available. Might be hard to trust that one there, but yeah. What about free throw percentage? Typically a pretty hard category to boost and stream in. What are your thoughts on that?
I picked up someone last week at my bye week to just boost me just in terms of the games played as well. I picked up Carmelo Anthony. He's a guy who can help in the free throws.
I like it.
And he's been pretty hot recently too. So he's definitely, if he's got those games where you obviously need to get a few more players out there. It's not the packed. Well, let's say it's on a Tuesday or a Thursday. Those are the games where there's low games. He's definitely worth an ad.
Yeah, he's got that back-to-back at the end of the week. Not back-to-back, the pseudo back-to-back on the Friday, Sunday. So playing on low volume days to finish the week. So maybe you start with someone like a Landry Shamet or something like that, who's also another good free throw shooter, and then go into a Carmelo Anthony if you think that category is going to be really close. Again, though, the free throw percentage, just because of the volume of shots, it's hard to get those sort of guys on the waiver wire. Someone like a Tim Hardaway, if he's on your wire, he's someone that can affect those categories, but probably not on many teams' waiver wire at the moment. Let's go into threes. There's lots of three-point streamers this week. I'll just highlight straight off the bat, my favorite for this week is Gary Trent Jr. Obviously, they've got the 5 games this week. Might be rested and has been rested in the past, so just keep an eye on that. And Landry Shamet is another one we've highlighted as well. 4 games, all played on low volume days. Harden's out. Durant might miss another couple games. So I really like Landry Shamet as an excellent three-point streamer. Probably my ad for the week, really, Landry Shamet.
Yeah, he's been hot recently too. So
yeah, he's got the license. You got any other three-point streamers there, Cal?
I guess you could throw Carmelo back in the category, but otherwise, I think you summed up pretty well. Brent Forbes for the Bucks, I think.
Yep. He all he does is shoot threes. He doesn't do anything else, but if you need threes, he's a great shooter. I'll highlight Dorian Finney-Smith as well for the Mavs. Again, 5-game week. So he's someone who starts, gets a lot of minutes, shoots threes, solid rebounds. I think he's only owned in like sort of under 60% of leagues. So definitely someone who I think is someone you can have a look at. Let me just double check that. Oh, only rostered in 30% of leagues. And he's the 118th player for the season. So averaging nearly 2 threes a game. I think he's definitely a solid ad and a good stream this week. Let's go on to points. Another tough one. We mentioned Jalen Brunson before. Do you have any other guys that you think you can stream through there?
Big Bobby Portis. He's always throwing it up. So
yep. Had a couple of close games recently, so his points in the last few games have been down. But like we've mentioned before, if the matchup's there and they blow out the team, he's going to get lots of junk time and just rack it up there. I will throw out Darius Baisley as well, who was someone who we were hot on in the preseason. Obviously hasn't done very well this year. Field goal percentage will murder you, shooting under 40%, and he's been putting up a lot of shots recently. But if you just look over his last sort of 5 games, 26 points, 26 points, 16 points, 19 points, 22 points, getting a lot of shots, but obviously that field goal percentage just saps your team's percentages there. Rostered in 46% of leagues. So he is available. So if you need points, he's definitely, I think, one of the best streamers. And again, 5 games this week. So between him and Jalen Brunson, I think they're your best bets in terms of getting points.
A bit of a shout out maybe for points and threes would be KCP. It's a bit of the injuries. He's always a bit sporadic, but he had the odd 25-point game a couple of days ago.
Yeah, so, he can get hot.
And he can get steals too.
Yeah, I don't mind it. If those other guys are taken off the table, I would go someone like him. What about some rebounds, Cal? You got any rebounders for me? Probably similar to our field goal percentage guys.
Tristan Thompson's still on the waiver wire a fair bit.
Yep.
So he's yelling at me. Hassan Whiteside, who we already touched on. There's that Memphis kid in Tillman. Xavier Tillman.
Yeah.
Who's been getting minutes recently. He had a 41-minute game.
Double overtime game.
That would make sense. There you go. 18-14 with the stat line he put up there. So that's pretty impressive.
I think Jonas Valanciunas is out. I'm not sure. He's out
because I'm versing him this week. And I'm very happy that he's out.
Concussion. So he may be back next week, which is why I haven't listed him on our little cheat sheet here. But if he is still out, he is definitely someone that I like. I'll give a shout out to a guy that I've been hot on who's been frustrating the hell out of me recently, Moses Brown. Like I said, they're tanking so hard that he's even someone that they're breasting. So just double check. But they've got 5 games, 5 games, even if he gets 20 minutes a night, or, he put up 11 rebounds today in 16 minutes. So he's had a game before where he's got 24 rebounds. So in terms of rebounds, 5 games of Moses Brown, you could get 50 rebounds from him that week. So that's a lot of rebounds. His percentages are whatever, and he's up and down, very inconsistent, but I think he can give you that stat at least moving forward. All right, let's go into some assists. Who are our assist streamers, Cal? This is obviously usually a pretty tricky one to stream in terms of value.
Well, Brunson is definitely one of them. He'd be up there. TJ McConnell, he's always a shout out for steals and assists. So if he's on the waiver wire and you need assists, go to TJ. I guess KCP can have sporadic assists. He might only get like 5 assists, but can be helpful. Maybe a Pritchard if you're looking desperate.
Yeah, I'd have to be pretty desperate to get KCP in for assists.
That's true, yeah.
I do want to shout out again Malachi Flynn from the Raptors, if he's available. Just again, 5 games. I think that they're going to be resting Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet. So he's going to have some games where I think he can get up, 5 or 6 assists. Funny enough, Ricky Rubio is only rostered in 59% of leagues. So if he's available, obviously great assist and steals streamer. And again, OKC, another 5-game week, Ty Jerome. I think he's one of the few that we can assume won't be rested. I'm hoping he doesn't get to the Moses Brown level, but I think he's averaging, that 3 or 4 assists. Might be able to get you some threes, but I do like him as a bit of an assist streamer, again, just because of those five games next week. You can sort of get him on there moving forward. Let's look at some steals. We got your boy Bruce Brown on here.
Bruce Brown put up 21 and 14.
Yeah, 14 rebounds from a guard. Yeah,
from somebody 6'3".
Yeah,
it's pretty impressive. So
he does normally get some good steal numbers though. So I don't know if I can expect 14 rebounds from him. Maybe maybe more than average from a guard, but I will expect a few defensive stats from him moving forward. Any other sort of steals, guys, that you'd recommend?
If you really need steals, is a guy who I've picked up before just for steals and some potential blocks is Matisse Thybulle for the 76ers. What's he averaging? He's putting up a fair bit, but if you just look at the last few games, 2, 3, 2, had a scratch 0 and then 2, 3, 1. So like, it'd be high, like, 1.7 or something. And he gets good blocks too. So
yeah, excellent sort of stocks streamer, steals and blocks. He's been getting a bit of extra run with Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris out the last couple games. They're more game time decision sort of guys moving forward. So maybe next week they'll be back. But even still, he doesn't need very many minutes to get a lot of steals moving forward. So that's a pretty good one. And last category, blocks. I'll mention my favorite stream for blocks this week is Ken Birch from the Raptors. I don't really think we'll see much of Chris Boucher, if any, next week. He started at center today. And in limited minutes, he puts up blocks, and they're going to be resting a lot of players. So I think he's one that's going to play a lot. So I like him as my favorite block streamer for the week with those 5 games. Anyone else there, Cal?
Look, yeah, I could probably come up with a couple of plans. Hassan Whiteside as always. And you could do a bit of a shout out for Kenyon Martin Jr. potentially as well. He hit a monster block. I think it was yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
he's an athletic dude, that guy.
He is.
so he I think he had a couple blocks recently. So I don't mind that. Check out what Goga Badatse is doing. Maybe Moses Brown is another one that can do that, although I rely more on his rebounds than his blocks. Alexei Pokusevsky can be streaky. He had a 6-block game the other day, so he's obviously got it in him. Whether he's consistent enough, or I think he's out with a sore leg or a sore arm or something soft like that at the moment. So just make sure you check in to see where he's at. But he's another one that you could look there just to sort of, take that half-court sort of shot and just, he could give you 6 blocks. You never know. So, again, they have the 5 games next week. So those sort of players are ones that I think you can look at, keeping in mind the amount of games played. All right. Well, that might do us for today, Cal. Any sort of closing remarks from you? Can we expect to see you in the championship next week? You're feeling confident?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm up 7-2. Yeah, this is the semis for us. So yeah, with championship week next week, there's still some groundwork to be made though. So I don't want to lock it in. No. But it would be great if Sabonis decided to play next game. I'll say that. And I'm looking forward to potentially, regardless, I'm a medal match guy. So regardless, I'm going for the 3rd trophy award next week.
Yep. Yeah. Well, good luck to you. All the best.
How do you feel? You've retired your team. They're now gone.
Yeah. Well, I've retired my team.
Never to exist again.
My team's going bloody all right this week, though. If I was in the playoffs right now, I'd be actually crushing it. But in our redraft league, not doing too well. I've turned my attention towards the Dynasty League, where I'm currently trying to get into the next round. It's our first round in that league there. But I've had a rough run. I've had Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, not play yet. I have Chris Boucher go down today. I've had who else have I bloody had? James Harden's obviously out, so I haven't had him yet. So had a bit of a rough run, but I'm just Ben Simmons. You're sick. All right, cool. Just play the damn game, mate. Come on, get out there. That's what I want to see. I want to see Ben Simmons out there. Give me some assists. Give me some rebounds. Hoping for my guys to pull through and get myself a dynasty championship this year. But all the best to you guys out there listening. And if you can please subscribe to the YouTube channel, we've got new videos coming every week, helping you get through the fantasy season, talking NBA. Subscribe, like the video, hit the bell, let your friends know about it, and we'll catch you guys next week. See you later.